#1 in Idaho. This is KTVB, Idaho's News Channel 7. The Midday News starts now.
It is time for It's Your Business, and the lasting effects of the recession are now shaping how we plan for the future. To capture the opportunities and also confront today's complex challenges, organizations need to engage in strategic planning. So for more on that, we are here with Phil Eastman of the Leadership Advisors Group. Hey, has strategic planning changed because of what we're going through?
No, I don't think the activity has changed, but the need for it is probably more acute now than it ever has been, and that's because the world around us has shifted. When you start a planning process, you always have to evaluate the context with which you're going to plan, or the markets, if you will, or the organization type. And that certainly is different today than it was before.
It's hard to know what the expectations should be.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we really coach our clients around is not so much focusing on just the creation of a plan, but building the discipline of planning into the organization. Because if you think about it, strategic plans almost by definition are obsolete the day you write it down.
Right.
Because something has changed.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we like to say is strategic planning is really a leadership competency. And what we want the organization to do is almost be in a continual thought process about where are we going, how will we get there? Those are the two major questions.
And we should make a point, because you pointed this out to me before the interview. This isn't just for big corporations.
Oh, exactly.
So,
exactly.
you know, if you're a small businessman just with a couple of employees as well,
absolutely.
What you're going to show us here right now, and I know we could go on for hours with this, is more of how it's not actually where you want to be at the end, it's that planning process.
It really is a planning process.
Okay, let's get to it.
And it's not just for big companies.
Okay.
It is for small scale organizations as well.
All right, now some of this would probably make sense, but we need to be reminded all the time.
We do.
The first one, determining which direction your company wants to go?
Absolutely. There's three major pieces to strategic planning: determining direction, aligning resources, and planning for execution. Direction is simply, if we used an analogy of a road trip, we're going to go to Yellowstone Park next summer, right? So we have to know where we want to end up. In a planning sequence, that means understanding our values, our purpose, our vision, and our mission. Those really high-level statements that say, this is what we want the culmination of all this effort to deliver us to.
So you need to think about those things
Absolutely.
when you're answering that question.
Absolutely.
Right there. Aligning the resources and then executing the plans.
Exactly. So the alignment part is really where we decide what to do with our finite resources in order to get to that destination that we prescribed earlier. And most strategic plans fall apart in execution. That really is the hard part. The plan is relatively easy to construct. Doing the work is challenging.
And so these next tips are the benefits.
They really are.
If you do this type of planning, what can come from it?
There are several things that come from it. The first one is clarity across the organization, whether it's large or small, about where we're going, what we're going to do to get there, and how we're going to accomplish that. The cohesion that it creates and the commitment among the workforce is as valuable as the plan itself, because it gets everybody on the same page, so to speak.
These are really deep down questions, almost like the soul of the company.
They are.
Yeah, they really are. It's not necessarily what you always ask about in business.
That's right. And the old adage really applies here. You know, a failure to plan is a plan to fail, right? And that really is the sort of the watchword behind strategic planning. It's not just for big companies, it's for everybody who's running an organization.
Okay, if you want to talk more about this and get other leadership advice, we've got a hot link set up to the Leadership Advisors Group, and you can find it right now at ktvb.com. Thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn.
We'll be back.